Chief Obi, please. I have done nothing wrong.
Leave this village.
What?
Leave. We don't want you here. Take your children and go.
My babies are only 5 days old. Where am I supposed to go?
That is not our problem. The decision has been made.
Uzo, tell them the truth.
You are no longer my wife. Witch!
Ebere could not believe what she was hearing. Tears streamed down her face. Leo and Chimamanda cried in her arms. The people she had known her entire life were turning against her, and the man she loved had just abandoned her before the entire village. The people of Umuaka still talked about that day many years later. Not because of the rain, not because of the shouting, but because of the terrible mistake they made. The mistake of throwing out the wrong woman, and the price they would eventually pay for it. Because the woman they drove away that afternoon was not a witch. She was not evil. She was not responsible for the tragedies they blamed on her. She was simply a young mother carrying 2 innocent babies. And like many great tragedies, her story did not begin with hatred. It began with love. A few weeks before that terrible day, Ebere had been happier than she had ever been in her life. She often sat on the veranda of her modest family home, with both hands resting gently on her swollen stomach. The twins kicked inside her womb. Every movement made her smile. Only a few days remained before she would finally meet them. Sometimes she spoke to them when nobody was around. "My children, your mother may not have much, but I promise you one thing." She rubbed her stomach gently. "You will always be loved." At that moment, Ebere truly believed her future was bright. She believed her marriage was secure. She believed her husband loved her. She believed the difficult days were finally behind her. She was wrong. 3 years earlier, when Uzo entered her life, everyone in Umuaka said she was lucky. Uzo was handsome, hard-working, respected, the kind of man many women hoped to marry. But he chose Ebere. At least that was what everyone believed. The first year of marriage felt like a dream. They laughed together, worked together, prayed together. Even when money was tight, they remained happy. When Ebere became pregnant, Uzo appeared overjoyed. He told everyone he was going to be the happiest father in Umuaka. Ebere believed him. She had no reason not to. But everything began to change during her pregnancy. Uzo became distant. He stayed out late. Sometimes he returned home long after midnight. Sometimes he did not return at all. Whenever Ebere asked questions, he became angry. "Uzo, must I explain every minute of my life?" "Ebere, I am only worried." "Uzo, then stop worrying." At first, she ignored the signs. Many wives did. She told herself marriage had difficult seasons. She convinced herself things would improve. Instead, they became worse. Then one evening, Ebere discovered something she was never supposed to hear. She had gone to fetch water from the stream. As she approached, she heard laughter. A man's laughter. Uzo's laughter. Then she heard another voice. Ada, the daughter of the wealthiest man in Umuaka. Ebere froze. Slowly, she stepped closer. She could not see them clearly, but she could hear every word. As Ebere moved closer, she heard Ada speaking. Ada sounded frustrated. She complained that once the babies arrived, Ebere would become much harder to deal with. Uzo simply laughed. His response was calm. He told Ada not to worry, but Ada was not convinced. She wanted to know what would happen if Ebere discovered the truth. Uzo sounded completely confident. He assured her that Ebere would never find out. Then Ada asked a question that made Ebere's heart skip a beat. What if she did? For a moment, there was silence. Then Uzo gave an answer Ebere would never forget. He already had a plan. The bucket slipped from Ebere's hands. The loud sound echoed through the trees. Instantly, the conversation stopped. Ebere's heart pounded. For a few terrifying seconds, nobody spoke. Had they heard her? Had they seen her? Fear shot through her body. Without waiting to find out, Ebere turned and ran. She ran all the way home. Her mind raced with questions. What truth was Ada talking about? What plan had Uzo made? And why did it sound as though they were working together against her? That night, Ebere barely slept. She lay awake, staring at the ceiling. Every time she closed her eyes, she heard Uzo's voice again. I already have a plan. Beside her, Uzo slept peacefully, as though nothing had happened, as though he wasn't hiding secrets from his pregnant wife. Several times Ebere almost woke him up. Several times she almost demanded answers, but something stopped her. She needed proof. If she confronted him too soon, he would simply deny everything. So she remained silent. Days passed, then weeks. The closer she got to her due date, the more distant Uzo became. Sometimes he barely spoke to her. Sometimes he left before sunrise and returned long after dark. And each time Ebere looked at him, she felt as though she was looking at a stranger. Then one night, the pain began. At first it was mild, just a small discomfort, but within hours the contractions became stronger, much stronger. Ebere doubled over in pain, sweat covered her face. A neighbor immediately ran to call the village midwife. Soon, women from nearby homes gathered around her. The labor was long and exhausting. Hour after hour, Ebere fought through the pain. Several times she thought she could not continue. Several times she thought she might die. But just before sunrise, the first cry filled the room. A healthy baby boy. The women cheered. Ebere burst into tears. Before she could even recover, another cry followed. A baby girl. The room exploded with excitement. Twins. God had blessed her with twins. The little boy was named Leo. The little girl was named Chimamanda. As Ebere held them against her chest for the first time, nothing else mattered. Not the pain, not the fear, not Ada, not even Uzo. All she could see were her children. They were perfect. For 5 beautiful days, Ebere lived in complete happiness. She spent every moment admiring them, counting their tiny fingers, kissing their little cheeks, thanking God for bringing them safely into the world. For the first time in months, she felt at peace. She thought the worst was behind her. She had no idea that the greatest nightmare of her life was only beginning. On the morning of the 6th day, a loud scream suddenly echoed outside her home. Then another, and another. Within moments, the entire village seemed to be in chaos. Voices shouted, people ran, doors opened. Ebere sat upright immediately. A strange feeling settled in her stomach. Something was wrong, very wrong. Then her mother burst into the room. The older woman's face was pale, her hands were trembling, and tears filled her eyes. The moment Ebere saw her expression, her heart sank. Something terrible had happened. "Mama," her voice trembled. "What is wrong?" But her mother could not answer. Instead, tears rolled down her cheeks. Outside, the noise grew louder. Angry voices, frightening voices, accusing voices. Ebere carefully lifted Leo and Chimamanda into her arms. Then she slowly stood up. Her legs still felt weak after childbirth, but she forced herself toward the door. As she stepped outside, her breath caught in her throat. The entire village was gathered outside her home. Men, women, children, even village elders. At the front stood Chief Obi. Beside him stood Uzo, and standing next to Uzo was Ada. The moment Ebere saw them together, a chill ran through her body. something was terribly wrong. Chief Obi slowly stepped forward. In his hand was an object Ebere had never seen before. The crowd became silent. Every eye turned toward her. Then Chief Obi opened his mouth to speak, and the world Ebere knew was about to come crashing down. But whatever Ebere expected to hear that day, it was not what Chief Obi was about to say. The moment he opened his mouth, the atmosphere changed. Faces hardened, whispers spread through the crowd. Some villagers stepped away from Ebere as though they were suddenly afraid of her. Others stared at her with disbelief. Confused, Ebere tightened her grip on Leo and Chimamanda. She had no idea what was happening. She had no idea why the villagers were looking at her differently, and she certainly had no idea that someone she trusted had spent weeks preparing for this moment. What was Chief Obi about to reveal? Why was Ada standing beside Uzo? And what exactly was the plan Uzo had been hiding? Find out in episode 2.